It's Joel's.
Joel's.
3 fruits.
Lovely.
They're 99% sugar-free and fat-free.
Lovely. Opposed to me, which is 100% sugar and fat.
0 points to all our Weight Watchers fans. There's 0 points.
Oh, lovely. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back to another episode of Mainly Murder with Meg and Mum. WW.
What?
MMD.
D, where's the D come in?
What would
Mainly
Murder with Meg and Mum do?
That's too fucking hard. You should have made it a smaller name.
Well, you know what? That's on you, boo. So today we have a murder. It's just, I like to specify because it's mainly murder. So sometimes we don't have murder, but this
I know. Mel appreciates the not always the murders.
Yes. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
She's our number one groupie.
And friend that I've worked with since 1997.
Wow.
Well, that's when I started. That's when I met Mel.
So like 28 years you've known each other.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know anyone since I've known you since 1997.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. I've known a few people since 1997.
Nan, Pa, yeah.
Lots of people.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So, to start off, my first line of this case is picture it. Germany.
Sicily, 1942.
No. Picture it. Germany, 1922.
Oh, it's close.
Yes. No, we're in Germany. And this is the case of Hinterkaifeck.
Hinterkaifeck.
Feck.
It.
Feck. Like how the Irish women say fuck this.
Yeah,
feck.
they say feck.
So Hinterkaifeck was a small farmstead located around 70 kilometres north of Munich, Germany. Hinterkaifeck simply means behind Kaifeck.
Fair enough.
The community of Hinterkaifeck was small and was made up of a few families who lived throughout the countryside. The families in this area were predominantly Catholics, and most worked on their farms or in jobs related to agriculture.
That's it. Good story.
And that is it. Everyone lived happily ever after. I just wanted to tell you about the town of Hinterkaifeck.
Oh dear, that's funny. I had one come up on an app the other day. Sorry, just when you said, you know how I, see something shiny. No, it was one of those ones that had all the town names that were all like Cockbridge and Dick something or other, and they were all near somewhere up towards Scotland. I feel from the map that it was showing. It'd just be a funny drive. Anyway,
well, that was great.
It was very random.
I thought we were going to say like in Australia. How
No. If it had been here, I would have gone, let's go for a drive. See what all these are.
We could go for a drive to Mount Disappointment if you like.
Yeah, that's called work. that's a drive every fucking day.
Oh, so anyway, the farm, Hinterkaifeck, was owned by the Gruber family. Don't worry, this is no relation to Karl Tanzler at all.
What?
Karl Tanzler?
Yeah.
He was German?
Am I meant to know that?
Yes!
Why?
I don't know. So the Gruber family owned...
You say stuff and it's like, what the fuck? I don't even know what that meant. You're having your own little fucking giggle fest over there and it's like, she's fucking nuffy.
Oh.
Okay, he's not related to Kai Tanzler. Whatever his fucking name was. I don't know. Please continue.
So the Gruber family owned the farm and they were known to be reclusive and did not usually socialise much with any of their neighbours. They kept themselves working on their farm, and on Sundays they attended church.
Every serial killer's a churchgoer. I think that should be looked into. Please. How many stories have you done that we haven't mentioned? And on Sunday they went to church. Pretty much all of them. So I think we should start looking in the churches because something NQR, mate.
Well, wasn't there a Royal Commission into the fucking church?
They've got their own issues internally, but I'm saying people that have gone there have obviously been groomed to be serial killers.
Or just groomed in general.
True.
Well, anyway, so they attended church.
Bless your father for we've sinned.
And...
What happened to my lollies? Hang on, crisis.
Fucking hell.
I'm a bit OCD today, aren't I?
No, ADHD.
That's it. I opened it.
Some sort of acronym.
I was like, where did my lollies go?
No, you might have a meme where it's like instead of saying bless me, Father, I've sinned, it's like forgive me, Daddy, I've been naughty or something. Anywho, they were known to be a wealthy family in town.
Oh, okay.
The Gruber family had lived on the farm for several years. There was Andreas Gruber, who was the dad, Kazilia, who was the mum.
Figured that was going to be next in line.
Then they had Victoria, who was their daughter, and Victoria's husband had died at war. And then Victoria had 2 children as well. I'll go through them briefly.
I hope she had the 2 children with her husband before he went to war.
Andreas Gruber was the family patriarch. He was traumatized by the experience after returning from World War I. He probably had PTSD, but this was not officially recognized by the American Psychiatric Association until 1980.
What, the disease itself?
PTSD.
Yeah, okay.
Before they described it as war neurosis, combat hysteria, or shell shock, but they didn't realize the effects of PTSD. He was described to be a stern and sometimes violent towards his family. He was described as tall, thin, and 63 years old. Couldn't find a lot on everyone else. So Kazilia Senior was 72 years old. So she was a little bit older than her husband, who was
10 years, a little bit. Didn't you say he was 62?
63.
Oh, 9 years then.
Yeah. Victoria Gabriel, who was the daughter, who was 35. Then her daughter, Kazilia Jr.
Oh, why would you give a kid that name?
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but...
Well, it's like how the Irish, the first son is named after the dad and whatnot.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but it can be a middle name, surely.
Well, she was called Silly, Silli. She was 7, and then there was Joseph, who was 2. And then the family also had a maid, Maria.
Oh, of course.
So Maria arrived at Hinterkaifeck on Friday, the 31st of March, 1922, at around 5:30 p.m. She was accompanied by her sister, Franziska.
Franziska, not Francesca.
There's a Z in there.
Oh.
We're in Germany.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Maria. I was thinking, yeah, keep going.
Anyway, who stayed for about an hour and then left. Franziska would sometimes escort her places because Maria was described as mentally slow. Maria was told by Andreas she could put her things in the maid's room and then join the family for some supper.
So they treated her well at this point, before I say too much and make a fool of myself. So far, treating like part of the family.
So far. So she just started. She arrived. The previous maid quit.
Quit or was killed?
Quit. Quit. This is not going to go the way that you think it's going to go.
Fuck, okay.
There were rumours of some things that the family started experiencing on the farm. They apparently started to hear footsteps in the attic, but when investigated, there was no one up there. Also, one of their house keys had gone missing. They also reported seeing footprints in the snow leading up to the house from the thick woodland that bordered the farm, but no one was found.
Well, there's been a peeping Tom coming up for a squeeze.
How's that sound? Oh, that's you.
Oh, it was. I thought that was outside. I was still doing
that's
it. I could hear.
Gee, what's that sound?
I could hear it, and I thought, what's going on out there?
But no one was found. But they did find the door lock of the farm machine room had been broken. The woods surrounding the property was known as the Witch's Woods. The previous maid before Maria had quit, as she also heard strange noises in the attic and believed that the house was haunted. Andreas also found a newspaper on the property that no one in the vicinity subscribed to. Celie had gone to school, and teachers noticed that she seemed exhausted. She explained that she didn't get much sleep because her grandfather hit her mother, who had run from the house screaming. On the 1st of April 1922, the local cafe sellers, Hans and Edward, there's no W in it.
I was going to say, did you just...
I'm not just special.
Well, you are, but...
Edward, Eduard.
Okay.
They arrived at Hinterkaifeck to take the family's order, but no one answered to their door knocking. On Sunday, the family did not show up to church, and the following day...
It's always a giveaway.
Celia was absent from school. On the morning of April 4th, 1922, so the next day, same day?
I don't know. Didn't have that much interest.
Couple days later.
Okay.
A 22-year-old mechanic named Albert Hoffner arrived to repair a stationary engine on the farm. No one appeared to be home, and the back door was locked. Albert waited about an hour for someone to arrive, but then decided to go into the shed and start working. For 3 hours, he worked in the shed and heard no movement on the farm from the house aside from a dog barking and some cows mooing.
Yeah, I always like it. He can do
I
dog
know we
and
should
cow sounds.
we'll
yeah.
insert a clip of ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
At about 2:30 p.m, he test ran the engine, which still caused no one to stir from the house. Once he'd finished, he decided one more time to look around to see if he could find any of the Gruber family, but he could not see anybody inside through the windows, and he couldn't see any movement in the house. He decided to go to the neighbour, Lorenz Schlittenbach,
Oh,
to get
him.
yeah, Schlittenbach, to let the Gruber family know that he had been there.
For fuck's sake. Couldn't you just left a fucking note on the door? Fixed your motor.
Yeah, probably could. Well, it was 19. No, it was
What, you don't think they had pen and paper?
and
Jesus Christ.
newspapers. So he let the neighbour know to let the family know that he'd been there and he repaired the motor on the farm. At about 3:30 p.m, Lorenz sent his 2 sons to Hinterkaifeck, but they also couldn't find anyone. When they returned home to relay the news to their dad, he decided to go there himself. He also alerted neighbouring farmers Michael Pohl and Jacob Sigel, who joined him.
This is a lot of work just because the neighbour didn't answer the freaking door once.
Well,
At this point.
might be a theory about why he took people with him. You'll see. Who joined him to visit Hinterkaifeck. Put a pin in that.
Put a pin in it.
They walked around the property and then entered the barn. They discovered the corpses of Andreas, Kazelia, Victoria, and Seeley. Some sources said that they were all stacked on top of each other, and others, like the photos... Oh, no, this is not. Anyway.
Yep, good.
So, in a lot of sources, they said that they were stacked on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But then the photos, so there's only like 5 photos of the whole crime scene, they're just laying around the barn. So,
Well, they might have been moved so they could be checked.
I do mention it, but they were moved. Someone moved them. I think the neighbour or something, because he was checking. That's why I think they might have been. They were found stacked, and then they moved them to see, or maybe one at the bottom's alive or something.
Yeah.
They all had severe head injuries. And
Hang on, so 4 out of 5 in the family died.
So we've got Andreas,
The dad,
Kazelia,
the
Victoria,
wife, the daughter,
Seeley,
the granddaughter.
and we're missing Joseph and the maid.
The maid.
So there's still 2 not in the barn. They all had severe head injuries and their faces were covered in blood.
Ugh.
There were several circular impact marks on the top of Kazelia's skull, along with severe injuries around her right eye and strangle marks on her neck.
Jesus Christ.
The right half of Andreas' face was damaged with his right cheekbone exposed.
Oh.
Victoria's cranium was shattered and had 9 pencil-thick star-shaped wounds.
Fucking hell, someone was angry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might mention as well that this is an unsolved case.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. It's over 100 years old.
Really?
Or 1922.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Come on, maths.
Oh, fucking maths. Yeah, your strong point. Yep, all right.
The right half of her face had been smashed with a blunt object, and she too had strangulation
Well, hang on. If you just said it hasn't been solved, that's a spoiler alert because now I know it wasn't the fucking maid.
Well, there's theories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Seeley,
And the boy was only about 2 years old or something, wasn't
2
he?
years old.
Oh, he didn't do it. You wouldn't have had the upper body strength. But then again, you're nearly 30. You don't have the upper body strength.
My 2-year-old has a very good upper body strength. He could bench press a cow.
Oh, shit. He couldn't smash somebody's head in.
No.
We'll give it a try.
Logan, get the hammer.
Logan, get the hammer. See if it hurts Daddy. Sorry. Sorry, Jay.
Oh, no. Seeley's skull was smashed. She had a gaping wound on her neck, and evidence showed that she had been alive for several hours after the assault.
Oh, my God.
She had torn out her hair in tufts while lying in the straw. Through the barn, you could enter the house, and Lorenz went in and found the bodies of Maria and Joseph inside.
Oh, shit.
Maria had injuries to her skull that suggested a sequence of blows from the front, left, and right with a blunt tool. She also had a blow to the back of her head that was 4 centimeters deep.
Far out. That's a decent...
Whoever did this was fucking...
They were angry as all shit. What did this family do to people?
She was found lying in the middle of the room on the floor, covered with a single blanket from her bed.
Oh. So whoever killed him put a blanket on her. Wonder why they did that.
Joseph's cause of death was a blow to the middle of his face.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That was a 2-year-old little kid.
Yep. His bassinet was covered with a dark hood. It was clear that the fatal blow had been struck through the cover, which I think tells you something. Like, they couldn't look at the 2-year-old while he's murdering him.
Oh, so they're not so bad then, Megan.
Oh, well.
No,
but like it tells you something about the person.
Yes, it does, but it's still fucking wrong. It's just like how they piled the rest of the family up in a nice clean pile and put a blanket over Maria. Yeah.
The baby had a cover over the back. They said bassinet and stroller, and in the photos it does look like an old school stroller.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing like what I used to do with Logan when he used to sleep.
Down. Yeah, exactly.
So it was like, the bassinets that have that over it.
Yeah.
They did it through that. And then the maid was covered with a blanket.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Odd.
Victoria and the maid's bed hadn't been turned down yet, and it appeared that nothing of value had been taken from the house. No defensive wounds were found on any of the victims.
Which is odd. You've got 4 of them in the garage or whatever it was, shed.
Barn,
fucking same difference.
But there's 6. Like, obviously, you'd understand with kids not having defense marks, but
you would have thought that.
There's 4 adults.
But unless they were like, they weren't all together at the time, like Dad killed
we'll get
him,
into it.
Put him in the barn, Mum come looking for Dad, bang, out she went.
Shut up.
I'm just theorising what could have happened.
The house did not have the impression of being ransacked except for Victoria's room. Her bed had a few items on it, and under the covers... there was an empty wallet, a notebook, several contract notes, a few sheets of paper...
Contract notes?
Yep, that's what they were described as. Okay. I don't know what they are.
Okay.
A few sheets of paper and a lady's wristwatch.
So you wonder if that's where maybe when she made her bed... she would hide her, like put her stuff there as a
maybe
safety thing. That could be
because
her back bed in 2022 it could be like, I make the bed, it's flat, no one's going to think to rip the sheets off and
you
my
wouldn't
wallet's
think to
going
look
to be
in
under
a bed.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
sounds like
fair.
It's something she might have done herself.
They later found that a few valuable items had been taken from the farm. So they had 1,880 gold marks.
Oh,
one gold mark is 9.86 euros, which is 18,500 euros, which is over $30,000 in Australian money now. No, what they took is the
equivalent of
30,000.
30 grand. Okay.
327 silver marks, a little bit less than 30 grand. 16 banknotes. What were you gonna do, bitch? What? Did you get your hand caught in the mic?
I moved it and hit right on the fucking whatever that is, the screw thing there.
Good.
Got me right on the knuckles, son of a bitch.
16 banknotes. The passports of Andreas and Celie, so the grandpa and the granddaughter, were gone.
They were stolen.
Mm-hmm. 2 silver men's watches, 2 gold rings, 2 wedding rings, a coral brooch,
Partridge in a pear tree,
a silver necklace, a string of pearls, and gold earrings.
So they did get fucking robbed.
Things were missing, yes.
Yeah.
One of Lorenza's sons had run to inform the police that who arrived at the farm at around 6 p.m. During this time, apparently the bodies of Andreas and Kazelia had been moved around, which I reckon, they must have, if they were stacked.
Yeah, they would have been checking, because like how many times have you heard like in scenes where like Americans will understand this more, in shoots that someone gets shot and they lay under a dead body, so they think that person... You've got 2 dead people there and just keep moving past you.
Celie was fucking still alive for 7 hours after the attack. So if the guy fixing the whatever, if he went into the barn first, she might have still been alive.
Yeah.
Because he was there for hours.
Yeah. Oh, shit,
yeah. Yeah. The Munich Police Department deployed detectives and police dogs to the scene and started examining the crime scene by kerosene lamp, because we're in the 20s in Germany.
22.
Due to the poor lighting, the police came back the next morning at around 5:30 a.m. They recorded things such as the weather, light conditions, motives for the crime, the victims, measurements, photos, sketches, and initial...
So they left the bodies there all night so they could come back in the morning and take the pictures.
The police, though, did not secure the crime scene. Who's that?
Jordan.
Jordan?
Please hold. Say hello, Megan. What is
Hello.
it? Mainly Murder with Megan Mum.
Hello, Lonely Murder with Megan Mum.
Sorry, we just pause. Fucking Jordan interrupting.
Yep, so you can cut 10 minutes out of that. All right, where were we?
So the police did not secure the crime scene, and investigators, relatives of the family, and nosy neighbours had walked through.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm guessing in 2022 there wouldn't have been a lot of bloody...
1922.
Sorry. 2022. Yeah, shit, yeah. Sorry.
There wouldn't have been a lot of
The
the
you watch
stuff
some
we
of
have
the
now.
older type shows now on TV, like that are set back then, and some of the
They
shit they
wouldn't
did,
have-
it was
yeah.
so funny. You're like, God, they'd kill you in this day and age if you did that.
The fucking neighbours, though. But in those days, that'd be the most exciting thing happening in the town.
Yeah, of course it would.
And it was just a big farming community, so it would have been you'd go have a look.
Of course you would. You'd have a go and look
It's like when the
now.
police,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
happening?
Like you with the fire truck that time. Oh, there's a
Yeah.
fire truck. Out she goes. Leaves the kid. Yep. No, all right. I'll
You
keep an eye on
had
him.
him. I'd face it. You'd pick up your grandson.
Pick him up. Put him in the car. Let's go.
So they damage any chance of getting footprints, fingerprints, or allowing the dogs to follow a trail.
Okay. Well, that one would have been viable.
Yeah. The investigators only took 5 photos of the whole crime scene. In these, you couldn't see Kazelia, I think Junior. I don't know, back in the day, maybe they knew they were going to come out, so you wouldn't want to take a photo of a 7-year-old. I don't know. The detectives...
Well, they're going to be an Instagram hit in 2024.
Well,
25, whatever fucking year we're in now.
whatever year it is.
Whatever year it is.
The detectives also tried to secure the family dog, Spitz, to remove him...
Spits the dog.
Spitz the dog.
Oh, okay.
He snapped at the officers when they came near him. He also was noticeably in fear and had a wound to his right eye.
Oh, so he copped a flick and a kick to get rid of him.
Yeah, and he barked. Apparently he didn't like people.
Oh.
From the research I've done, he barked and not.
Strangers.
Yeah, strangers, that's the word. Thank you.
Stranger danger.
The dog knew that one. In the feeding room, a pickaxe with a brownish red stain was found, which investigators first assumed was the murder weapon. Court physician Johann Baptist Amula performed the autopsies in the barn on a makeshift table.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was established that a mattock was most likely the murder weapon, although the weapon itself was not found at the scene yet. The skulls of the victims were removed and sent to Munich for further investigation. From there, they were most likely sent to the Augsburg District Court, where they were destroyed there during a night bombing raid.
Oh, shit.
Father Michael Haas presided over the funerals on the 8th of April 1922. 6 black coffins were lowered by ropes in the ground with many mourners. The detectives set up their headquarters in the kitchen of the farm.
Oh,
That was the police headquarters
seriously?
in the house. They also took a while to interview some people. For example, Albert Hoffner, the guy who came to fix the thing, he wasn't interviewed until 2 years later.
2 years to interview him.
The last person on the farm before the bodies were found. 2 years to interview him. They also let people come in as they please, such as the neighbour, Lorenz. When the police were discussing if the family had been well off, Lorenz piped up and said, "They were very comfortable. I reckon they had around 100,000 marks in cash." How would you know that about your neighbour?
Exactly.
The police were also using the house as an interrogation room.
Oh, jeez.
They had Michael Plock come in. Michael was the man who gave Maria and her sister directions to the farm. Michael said that when he was walking past the farm, he saw a light at the edge of the forest and that smoke from the fireplace had a revolting smell. Police wondered if this could have been the murderer leaving the scene at this time, and all 6 victims would have already been dead. The police also discovered that the killer had stayed around in the farm for a while after killing the family. There was evidence that he baked bread, smoked meat,
What?
milked the cows, and fed the cattle.
Oh, bullshit. How do they know that wasn't done previously?
Because from the
Like the cow milking and the whatever.
The-
Bake the fucking bread.
Tuesday that the bodies were found and the Friday that the maid arrived. So the whole weekend and the Monday, no one saw them. They didn't go to church. They didn't go to school. So there was 4 days that no one heard from them. So they could have been killed on the Thursday night.
So you're saying he's been there, he was living in the house for 4 days?
Yeah, he could have killed the family on the Friday.
Okay.
And no one discovered them till the Tuesday.
Okay. So that's making
he stayed there, baked bread,
sense
milked the cows.
Okay. Well, he would have been fucking hungry. Yeah, good murderer gets hungry.
Well, there was another murderer that used to make food. He'd kill them and then like raid their fridge and make like sandwiches and shit. I want to say BTK. Huh?
You'd probably do that.
Yeah, probably.
Food.
In 1923, the new owner of the farm, Joseph Gabriel, I don't think there's any relation to Victoria Gabriel, found a mattock in a false floor.
Sorry, can we back up one? Who the fuck's Victoria Gabriel?
The daughter. The daughter that got killed.
Oh, okay.
Her last name was Gabriel. I don't think there was any relation between them.
Okay.
He found a mattock in the false floor above the kitchen where human blood and hairs were still stuck to it.
Yeah.
Police's first theory was that the crime was committed by at least 2 people. They theorized that the killer stayed in the attic for some time before, during, and after the murders. So that would probably explain the noises they were hearing in the attic as well before they...
And the baking of the bread.
Yes. The breaking of the bread, the drinking of the wine. Hallelujah. Praise Jeebus. They discovered a rope that reached from the attic to the barn. The rope had been firmly attached to a roof cross beam. So someone could have easily gotten in and out of the attic from the outside. There were 2 handprints on the dusty beam. The rope may have been why the Gruber family never found anyone in the attic after hearing noises, as they could have quickly slid down the rope to escape.
Okay, yep.
In the hayloft above the barn, depressions were found in heaped hay, indicating...
Depressions?
Impressions?
Yeah, it'd be impressions, like an impression of your foot.
Well, it's the 1920s. They're probably depressed as well. Wasn't that the Great Depression?
Okay. Yep, so depressions were found.
Indicating that 1 or more people had been lying there for a long time. There was also some shifted roof tiles in the attic just above the barn where you could see the inner courtyard, and the south and west fields could be seen through the tiles. The chief inspector wondered how the bodies ended up in the barn from the house. There was no blood suggesting that they were killed in the house and dragged out.
Okay.
They surmised that the family members must have been lured to the barn one by one. He had 2 officers go to the barn and scream loudly. From where the bedrooms were in the house, you could not hear anything.
Oh, wow, okay.
According to the official investigative results of the police and public prosecutor's office, this is what they believed happened.
Okay, here we go.
They believed that the perpetrators initially hid in the attic and could watch the family's movements outside through the moved roof tiles and inside because the attic.
Yeah.
After 8 p.m. on the evening of March 31st, 1922, they untied a young cow in the barn, and one after the other, Andreas, Kazelia, Victoria and Steely entered the barn to see what the noise was. They were hit in the head with a blunt weapon.
Well, they could have gone looking, like Mum could have gone.
Another
Dad's
option
been missing for a while.
Was that the perpetrator had learnt the family's routine and knew at some point before bed one would go into the barn and check on the animals. When they wouldn't return, another went out to check on them.
See, that's what I would have thought was logical.
That's, I think, the main one.
That's a logical one that they didn't have to do anything to entice them into the barn because they knew they were going to be there.
Because also, I just thought, like, if it's like she's 7, they could have been like, all right, before you go to bed, check the cows. Okay.
Yeah.
She goes out. Mum goes, where's the daughter?
Yeah.
Mum goes out. Where's my daughter? That mum. Where's my wife?
Exactly. That would be a logical scenario.
You'd think so.
You would.
The victims also had different patterns of injury to their heads, which indicated to detectives the use of different weapons, including a mattock, a band iron, and a pocket knife.
God.
Then Maria was killed in her room, and then 2-year-old Joseph. The clothes the family were wearing suggested that they were all getting ready or were in bed.
Oh, okay. So
they're all in like their pajamas.
Yep.
But Maria, Maria and Victoria's bed hadn't been touched yet, so they hadn't gone to bed yet.
Mm-hmm.
The perpetrators then spent some time in the house, possibly until the evening the next day. So the suspects. Lorenz Schlittenbauer.
Oh, Schletty.
Lorenz was a farmer and town representative, and apparently held some power in the community as the town leader. Shortly after his wife died in 1918, Lorenz was believed to have had a relationship with Victoria, and he was the father of Joseph.
Oh, Ooh, shame and scandal in the family.
It gets a lot more.
Oh, okay, all right. What's Shanity up to?
Lorenz apparently intended to marry Victoria, but this was prevented by Andreas. Lorenz also told police that Victoria was not the Gruber's only child. Andreas and Kazelia apparently had several children, but Victoria was the only one that had survived.
Oh.
Which, 1920.
I was going to say. I thought you meant like they gave the others up for adoption or whatever.
Lorenz said
that she miscarried.
That the children probably all died because they had no care and were not adequately fed. He said he often saw the children were locked in the cellar for days, and when he walked past the farm, he could hear them crying.
So why didn't he do anything?
Oh, the 1920s.
Isn't he meant to be the fucking mayor of the town? Surely if he had that much authority in his own backyard, he should have been able to...
Yeah.
Oh, these people.
There was also another possible father to Victoria's son, Joseph.
She sounds... So what, they're making her out to be a hoe because they don't know who killed them all? Oh, someone that was rooting her.
No, the other possible person.
Not Dad. Don't say fucking Dad.
Her father.
Fucking knew it.
At the time, most rumours were that Andreas and Victoria had a incestuous relationship.
Yeah, the game the whole family can play.
And that he'd been found raping his daughter, and that they both got convicted of incest.
Hang on, what? She got convicted of incest?
They called it
as an adult.
As an adult,
yeah.
They kept calling it an incestuous relationship, but it sounds like it was just Dad was raping her. But they kept saying, but they both got convicted of incest, even though she was getting raped.
35, and the daughter was what? 7.
The daughter is the first husband's.
Okay.
The one that went to war and died.
So the kid, the other one, the boy, who was what, 2? And she was 35. So she was in her 30s when this was going on.
We don't know how long it was going on.
Well, if the kid was only 2 years fucking old and they think dad's the dad. No,
but we don't know how long the dad was raping her. But the possibility it's either the dad's or the neighbours. Zenzi, the previous maid.
The who?
Zenzi.
Previous maid.
She was a previous maid. Had once gone into the barn to get some milk, and she saw Victoria lying with her father on top of her.
Ugh. She should have got the fucking shovel and gave him one at the back of the head.
Oh, you'd want to. Lorenz said that he entered the house to check for Joseph through the barn and into the kitchen, but witnesses said that he entered through the front door. According to Lorenz, his first thought was try to enter the home through the front door, and when he got there was apparently a key in the lock. According to information in the files for the case, a local teacher named Hans Geblager discovered Lorenz visiting the remains of the demolished Hinterkaifeck farm in 1925. Upon being asked why he was there, Lorenz stated that the perpetrator's attempt to bury the family's remains in the barn had been hindered by the frozen ground. Lorenz had apparently been one of the only people that Andreas told about the weird things happening on the farm before the family's deaths, such as the noises in the attic, the newspaper, and the key going missing.
So this wannabe mayor knew all this shit and did nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you going to do about fucking, I think there's noises in my attic. You'd be like, you have rats.
Yeah, probably there was not a lot to do about that, but if he knew other stuff.
But then it's also weird that, like, he's like one of the top suspects.
Clearly.
And that he was one of the only people, like I don't know how many people, but maybe the only person that the information came from him, that his neighbours were saying, oh, there's weird noises and there's a key missing and there's a weird...
Oh, so you reckon he's making up the story to cover his own shit? Is that what you're saying, me? You
yes.
naming names? Name a name and taking prisoners? Go for it.
Victoria had also told Lorenz that he was the father of Joseph and wanted them to get married, but also denied him access to see the child unless he paid child support. But apparently tests were run, and it was confirmed that Andreas was Joseph's biological father.
That's the dad.
Yep.
Too many names at this point.
And also some icing on the cake. The mattock that was the apparent murder weapon belonged to Lorenz, and he claimed that Andreas had stolen it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say borrowed it.
So that's all I have on Lorenz, that he's maybe the father, maybe not, was having an affair with the daughter, knew things that apparently no one else knew.
They already proved he wasn't the father.
Yeah, later.
Oh, okay.
So at the time, he thought
he was the father
Joseph
and she was trying to get some money out of him.
But then if it was him, why would you kill your kid?
Yeah, that's right.
And everyone else. Why wouldn't you just kill the dad and that'd be it?
I don't know. Maybe he knew he wasn't the father. Maybe he found out earlier and...
But then why would you kill everyone else? Why not kill the dad and the...
Well, because you'd be leaving witnesses behind.
Not if you just killed them in the barn and fucked off.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Ring him. See what was going on in his mind. He's probably dead.
Yeah.
It's 100 years ago. I'm tipping odds on he's dead.
There is also the suspect of possibly Carl Gabriel, who was Victoria's first husband that went to war. He had reportedly been killed in December 1914 during the First World War, but his body had never been recovered.
Oh, so... Could have been a little porky pie.
There's, not a lot on him. After the murders, people began to speculate about whether he in fact did die at war, and Victoria had conceived and given birth to Joseph in her husband's absence. But also, if you think he's dead, does it matter if you go move on?
No, if she's been told he's dead, then go and knock off whoever you want to, mate. Knock off as in root, not as in kill.
Yeah, so I don't know, why
two different types of knock off.
There's one of the theories that he's not dead and he came back and killed the whole family. But again, why would you kill your kid?
What did they do?
Why would you kill your daughter?
Yeah, but why? Yeah, exactly. Why? Yeah, no, he's not. No, we'll dismiss him. Take him out. I just
threw that one in there because that one's thrown around a lot.
That was silly.
The other one is possibly a political motive. Andreas was an outspoken Nazi sympathiser who was hoping to bring change to the status quo in the small community of more liberal voters. A man named Adolf Gump was listed as a suspect as early as the 9th of April due to his political activities. Adolf was a part of a group who was initially intended on rooting out communists and Polish insurgents, but again switched their attention to get rid of Nazis. They didn't like the Nazis. He was a Nazi sympathiser, maybe. Mm-hmm. Again, why wouldn't you just kill the dad?
Why the whole family? Why not just get him in the barn and...
In 1951, prosecutor Andreas Popp, they have very similar names, all these people, investigated brothers...
Like the bird.
Oh.
Sorry.
Adolf and Anton Gump. Their sister, Crescentia, claimed on her deathbed that Adolf and Anton had committed the murders.
Oh.
As a result, Anton was remanded to police custody, but Adolf had already died.
So she did a deathbed confession.
Saying that her brothers did the murder.
And where were they at the time? Were they living... I can't remember.
They were... Adolf was the one that didn't like Nazis, so possibly killed them.
Oh, okay.
After a short time, however, Anton was dismissed, and in 1954, the case against him was finally discontinued because he could not be proven to have participated in the crime.
But it must have been something, unless the sister hated him and was just stitching him up on her way out.
Who fucking knows?
Just like, haha, last life, fuck you. Sort this shit out while I'm gone. I might do that to my brothers. I might set some, go, yep, it was him.
They killed.
Who's an unsolved murder?
They're Mr. Cruel.
No, that's not funny.
Well, unsolved murder in Melbourne.
Yeah, but what year was that? Noel? Oh, now she's got to Google it. And not so fucking smart after all, are you?
It would have been... It was in the late 80s, early 90s.
So Rod would have been 10.
In the 80s?
He was only born in 70. So he would have been in 80, he was 10, so...
Was he?
Yes, he was.
So would he have been nearly 20 when Kate was born?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, Kate was 89, so yeah, he would have been 19 when Kate was born.
91 was when Carmen Chan was murdered.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, he would have been 21.
Anyway, let's stop plotting.
Anyway, so I can't... So probably... 21, yeah, I could probably set him up and Mark would have been, 6 years older? Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's get it.
All right, deathbed confession.
Deathbed confession, they did it.
40 years, according to Josh. There are many other theories, such as a serial killer, a passing stranger.
Hang on, 40 years, according to Josh.
Remember when Josh said that you were living for another 40
years?
Oh,
that's right. That's right. Fuck that. No one known I'm living for another 40 years.
So there are many other theories, such as a serial killer, a passing stranger, a group of robbers, theories involving black magic and occult rituals, or that Andreas had killed everyone then himself, which his cheekbone was protruding out of his face.
Yeah, that would have been
Unless he had the least, just a slit, not a throat or something, but they all had severe head wounds.
Yeah, someone was really going them. Someone or ones.
Next suspect is Anton Bichler.
Ah, bitch.
The police interviewed the Zenzi, whose full name is Zenzi was her nickname. It was a lot easier for me.
Yeah, bet it was.
Who worked at Hinterkaifeck until 7 months before the murders. Shortly after she started working at the farm, a factory worker, Anton Bichler, started making sexual advances to her.
Ooh.
She told police that Anton would apparently come up to her window and knock, but she didn't hear them. Anton must...
So how did she know he'd come up to her window and knock? How did she know that if she didn't hear him? Oh, he used to come up to my window and knock, but I didn't hear him. Well, then how the fuck did you know he was at your window?
She found footprints in the flower bed outside of her window. And
Doesn't
later
prove it was him?
She talks to him. It was him. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Oh, Anton must have asked her something like, why didn't you answer my window knocking? And she thought he was joking until she found footprints in the flower bed under her window. Anton kept trying to win over Zenzi, but she kept brushing him off or ignoring the tapping on her window. Apparently the family dog also never barked at Anton. The Gruber family also advised her not to get into a relationship with him as they thought he was a thief and suspected him of stealing their chickens.
He was probably hungry.
Anton would work every few weeks at the farm and would complain to Zenzi pretty much about how shit the food was and how they had heaps of money. The family had heaps of money, but they got shit food.
Right.
After consistently rejecting Anton, she was heard around town saying that he would have her sooner or later.
Ooh.
Victoria also heard Anton was going around saying that the Gruber family was to blame for the fact that he couldn't get a date with Zenzi and that, quote, the Kaifecks should all be killed.
Oh.
This is why Zenzi quit her job at Hinterkaifeck so that she could get away from Anton.
Oh, okay.
Anton was also interviewed by police on the 4th of May 2022. He told them that he wanted to have a love affair with Zenzi and he had gone to her window several times at night. Anton told the police that Zenzi had let him in once and then he had broken the relationship off
Okay.
when he found Zenzi accompanied by another man at the Schrobenhausen Inn. Anton also denied that he made any threats towards the Gruber family and that the dog always lunged at him when he entered the farm. And that is the only theories I have for you.
And it's still unsolved.
Still
we still
unsolved.
don't know who
Over
did it.
100 years later.
Why?
I like Anton for it, but that's just on the say of the maid that she heard all these things and he was trying to pursue her. The neighbour, as I said, I don't get why he'd kill his own son if he thought it was his son.
So, there's a lot of theories that didn't make sense.
Little
on
bits
one
of them
level.
make sense.
Yeah, but not the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Hell, it could have been the maid's best friend. She could have hated them all.
Maybe it could have been the old maid that was like, I don't know.
Who knows? Well, only the killer.
Yeah.
I
And
guess in 100 years, they're
by this
not
chance they're
telling
dead.
anyone.
Yeah.
Huh?
100 years later, they're probably dead, even if they were young. Well, you're like a 16, 17-year-old committing murders.
Yeah.
They'd be like 110 by now.
16.
Sure.
Fucking hell.
Look, maths is hard.
Yeah, okay.
You know what they say? It's okay to count on your fingers.
What?
It's okay to count on your fingers.
No, nobody says that.
I say that.
You say that.
But, yeah, if you have any theories, let us know. Comment on the Instagram. Email us your theories.
We will answer. We do answer. Just ask
Yes,
Dice. Dice sent some lovely messages.
Box
We're
and
happy to
Dice.
have Dice on board.
And, yeah, if you'd like to email us on anything else, you can email us at...
Oh, fuck off. You're not even... Don't even bother. I've got no idea. Mainly murder something at somewhere.
MainlyMurderPodcast at gmail.com.
Oh, it's that one. Okay, yeah, no, I do know that one.
That's our main email address.
Okay, all right, I know that now, only because you gave it to me yesterday, literally.
Yes, I have control issues over things.
I can do you want. Jesus Christ.
I wonder where I get that from.
Don't know.
God, you're pale.
What?
Your legs are really pale.
Get rid of it. You've got fake shit on your legs. That's the only reason you think you look brown.
Yeah, but my legs are a lot... they're pasty.
They're fucking not.
They are.
They've got a nice little bit of colour to them.
Your arms
Look
are
at my
twice
arms.
as
My arms, I know,
brown
my
as
arms
your
are,
legs.
My arms are twice as brown. Yeah, well, the legs don't see a lot of sun.
Yeah, no, they're glowing.
Fuck off.
Well, thanks for listening to me and Casper.
Asshole. Bitch.
Oh, my mouth still hurts.
I'll pay that.
I know it. Oh. God damn it. Oh, yeah, I got our new sign. It suits us perfectly.
What? ADHD Avenue?
Yeah. You with your fucking with me lollies go.
Yeah, I was concerned about that, but found them.
Anyway,
Joel's.
follow us on Instagram at mainly_murder.
Yeah, that
Or
one.
join our Patreon at Patreon/ I don't know what the Patreon. It's in our link tree on Instagram. Where if you just go on Patreon, you can search.
Try
Mainly
Joel's
Murder.
lollies. They're really nice.
Try Joel's lollies. Yes.
Okay.
It sounds
Well,
Any hootie. We will catch you next week where it's we're gonna turn the tables. And Mum's doing a case.
maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe. Mainly not.
Mainly, maybe not.
Mainly.
Mainly Murder with Megan Mum.
And mainly not.
And Mainly Moo. Moo.
You're a weirdo.
Thank
Turn this
you.
shit off.
Goodbye.
Ciao.